this is an article that I found the other day on Loopnet, and kind of go through this a little bit. And this is just talks about more and more why you hear me talk so much about affordable housing, about mobile homes, about mobile home parks. And it's because there's a lot of poor folks in America. Like the gap is widening more and more and more between the very affluent and low income, right? Middle classes getting demolished. And that gap, the spread is going to continue to increase. So, you know, what Sam Walton said was sell to the masses to live with the classes. Sell to the masses to live with the classes. So that's really what we're trying to do is, you know, our ideal clients, like they're shopping at Walmart, you know what, and we love the Walmart folks. So we're gonna do our best to give them the best possible product, the best possible price that we can, that works for their budget. They can have, you know, a good, safe, clean place to live their lives, to raise their families and call home. And me and Brian are seeing this come firsthand, right, Brian? Like, how happy did the people down at Country Oaks seem, you know, from our little town hall meeting?
Everybody was happy about everything we're doing. There wasn't a complaint amongst the group.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't. I mean, there's been some complaints because, you know, they don't know us and we're coming in and they're afraid that we're going to jack rents up and, you know, kick some people out and do all this kind of stuff. And we basically just have been very honest with them. We had an honest conversation with them that we are going to raise rents and we are going to kick people out, but we're going to do it very professionally, and we're not doing anything overnight. Like we have to get rents to market rent. You know, that is our goal, and that's really our job as entrepreneurs, is to add value and extract, right, a return value. That makes sense. So we've gone in and we've done road work. We're doing commercial mailboxes. We've done signage. We've gotten old homes. We've gotten out trash. We've removed pedophiles and working on getting a drug dealer out right now. So we're cleaning it up and the people are really happy. And what we said is like, look, don't worry. Nobody's rent's going to get raised this year. We're not going to raise your rent now. We're not going to raise your rent during the holidays. We are going to have an increase in March of next year. So you have plenty of time to prepare for that, make sure you like what we're doing, and make sure you want to continue to call this home. But what we're going to do is we're not going to have a substantial pay increase or rent increase. We're not going to jump your rents up to market values where they are today. Now, if new people come in, they're going to pay market rents, right? But you guys aren't. You're going to have around a 2 to 3 year time frame before you would be required to pay market rents, and market rents are in the $400 to $500 range now. And that's just for the dirt, guys, just to park their home on. So there's a lot of opportunity, obviously, not just with mobile home parks, but with affordable housing. And the problem is that there's a reduced amount of opportunity and stick-built homes each and every day. Whenever, you know, a starter home, I don't know about your market, Jason, but in our market, you know, it's getting pretty soon, you know, a starter home's going to be close to 300 grand. You know, we just have seen, Brian and I have seen locally how lumber prices, I guess, have like tripled in price since the whole pandemic. Other things are going to be going up. Things are getting cheaper. So it's just a matter of who's going to find some ways to solve these problems. So that's kind of why I wanted to share this article. Was the article I was going through myself, because Loopnet, you know, if you guys aren't familiar with Loopnet, so basically there's not like a national MLS, so to speak, for the commercial industry. So Loopnet is one of the platforms that commercial brokers and agents and commercial real estate investors go to list properties, to market them and sell properties. And they're an authority. I'll just say that they're an authority on the in commercial space. That being said, you go on Loopnet, feel free to take a look now. You go on Loopnet, you'll see, every single type of commercial property in the world, land deals, raw land, slightly modified land, skyscrapers, big commercial buildings, small commercial, retail, small box, big box, you name it, mobile home parks, RV parks, all this kind of stuff. You see all that. However, it's very interesting. It's very interesting that LoopNet, to my knowledge, I believe I read it, that they had never done like a spotlight, so to speak, a major article about mobile home parks and communities. And so why are they doing it now? So, once again, it's just kind of, it's the way of the world, right? It's where the market is. People are starting to look at things that they haven't looked at in the past. So I've read through, this is a two-part series. I actually just got the second part that I have not read yet, but I want to go through some of this, and we'll talk about mobile home communities and affordable housing in general. Like, let's talk about, why they're being kind of focused on more so now, and why they're starting to get some notoriety, some publicity, some good, some bad, and more so, where's the opportunity for you guys? And I've kind of already hit on that in the beginning about like the Lake Charles market and looking in markets that have been hit by a hurricane and flood. Like there's definitely opportunities there, but there's opportunities all over the country. And I'm going to take a quick tangent. I'm going to shoot over here real quick and show you this site. You guys know we do a lot of SEO. And so that's why we created this site, right? Mobile home park instant offer. Like, because I'm like, man, there's not a lot of people marketing to mobile home park sellers, right? Are you looking to sell your mobile home park? And so we're specifically beginning to market to these folks because there's an opportunity there. Okay. So what are we looking for with the mobile home park? They call it what? As little as anywhere from as little as 10 to more than 1,000 reside. Yeah, that sounds good to me. There's probably some less than 10, but it's not typically going to be, worth the time if it's like less than 15 to 20 lots, depending on what you're buying it at. These mobile home parks, guys, another opportunity that's starting to be created is, and we haven't even talked about that, nor do we have the time, but affordable housing for, senior citizens of 55 years and older demographic. And that's one thing that a business partner of mine and I are considering is doing a development for 55 and older, but we're 100% doing a family park right now. Well, we've put an offer out on land. We're negotiating that land right now to do somewhere between 60 and 100 lots in one fell swoop and into development. And that's just going to be a traditional family park. But what is a mobile home community? It is, to me, in my opinion, a much more desirable product than an apartment building, not only from the investor side, but also from the resident side. And it's typically cheaper. And when we as entrepreneurs can provide something to the marketplace that's better and less expensive, that sounds better than cheaper, better and less expensive, then what have you done? Like, you've just created a massive amount of value. And if you remember that You've heard me speak about Sam Zell before, the #1 owner of mobile home parks in the country, but also has done, probably in the top 1 to 5 over the years of all commercial development, of apartment buildings, commercial buildings, skyscrapers, subdivision developments, you name it. He's done it and he's dominated it. He's an very incredible real estate entrepreneur. You should read his book, Sam Zell. Read his book. It's I forget the title of it. Anyways, look up Sam Zell. So here's one of the biggest things that I gained from reading his book. Maybe you don't need to read his book, but the two of the biggest takeaways I got from it is this. Number one, this dude owns more mobile home parks than anybody, and he's really smart and he's really successful. And not only does he own more mobile home parks than anybody, he's never sold one of them. Yet he's sold off half of his commercial inventory, sold off a lot of his apartment buildings. He's done that over the years. Yet he's never sold a mobile home park. Makes you just think, right? Interesting, right? Warren Buffett's the #1, the owner of 21st Century Mortgage, and 21st Century Mortgage is also the #1 financer of mobile homes. Interesting. They're really smart. Why are they doing this? It just makes you scratch your head a little bit. The second biggest takeaway I had from Sam Zell was every single deal has to meet this criteria: low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. I did not say no risk, right? If there's no risk, there's probably no return. Forget about it. But low risk, high return. Not high risk, low return. And that's what you're seeing a lot of people do in today's market. We're at the top of a market and they're putting themselves in a place where they're taking a substantial amount of risk, meaning low equity deals with a very little return. Not a good formula for success or for sustainability. So what I'm seeing is with these deals that we're doing is a low risk, high return opportunity. What's another low risk, high return opportunity for those of you watching this? Wholesaling these deals. If you're not ready to take them down yourselves, or just looking for ways that you can create low risk, high leverage deal or high return deals by wholesaling them, putting them under contract. There's ways you can do these parks, lease options where the seller is going to lease them back to you with the option to buy it. I'm seeing guys utilize the Airbnb platform. I talked about Pad Split earlier, where they're basically leasing these properties from the owners and paying them $1,000 a month to lease it to them, and they're subleasing it via Airbnb and Pad Split and all that type of stuff, and going out and generating cash flows, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month off the same property. And so there's opportunities out there, guys, and you can do that with the low risk, high return kind of mindset. And back to what I was talking about was, people have asked me for a long time, why don't you go, into multifamily? For me, it's just never been my thing of having a big building full of tenants. I want to work with people who have ownership in their property, or the desire to have ownership in the property. And that's why I started really getting excited about mobile home parks, was because I could own the dirt and do my part, which is make sure the grounds are upkept, good road work, good infrastructure, good lighting, safe environment, things like that. But they own their building, right? Which they have the ability to pay that home off, to have a vested interest in their home and things like that. So that's why I really like the model. And I did my research where I saw how statistically people are so much happier living in a nice and clean mobile home park than they are living in an apartment, because they have that separation. They've got their yard, they've got their green space, all that kind of stuff. And what we've really been doing, just so y'all know, in the last 2 projects, is not even really doing a mobile home park. Like, it's affordable housing community. These people are on quarter to half acre lots. So they've got a big, huge yard, place where their kids can play and do all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about this, the history and evolution of the mobile home industry. So this is where there's opportunity in this space right now that there's not in so much in the residential area. Is you've heard the phrase mom and pops. So there's a lot of mom and pop owners in the mobile home park space that they've owned these, parks for last 20 or 30 years. And a lot of them are now, in their 60s and even 70s. We've worked with some sellers in their 70s and some younger, but they're like, you know what? We're ready to retire. We don't want to deal with this anymore. Maybe they're watching the news and the media and seeing all the doom and gloom and everything that's going on. And they're like, you know what? I think now would just be a time to get out. And so when they're ready to sell, there's not 10 or 15 wholesalers and investors lining up at their door to make offers to them. There's not, because there's not as many of us real estate investors are looking to buy them and hold them, or even real estate investors that are marketing to these types of folks. So, you got to look at that. That's where the opportunity is. And that's how we've been able to get some really good prices working with sellers, and they're happy with the offers, right? Like this, no one's forcing their hand to sign. Like they're very happy with the deals that we're working out. We're very happy with the deals that we're buying them at. But we also know that there's a major upside, because lot rents haven't been raised in a lot of time. There's some things that they're paying for that we can reduce expenses. We can reduce expenses, increase income, increase occupancy, and that's how the game is played. So really, this is what it gets to, is like there's a lot of opportunities, whenever you look at mobile home parks, also because the big guys like the Sam Zells, these big hedge funds, these big companies, they're looking for the deals that are like 100 lots or more, right? And so we, like us, are small guys and middle-sized guys. We may not be at a place where we're looking for those deals. So that's where a lot of the opportunity is, 15 lots to 50 lots. And that's where what I've cut my teeth at right now is like a 42, a 15, a 51, and now a 24 that we're under contract on. And it's very manageable. There's a lot of cash flow. There's a lot of upside there. And there's not nearly as much competition in that medium to small market space. And for those of you watching this, if you want to hit me up, I've got a list of parks that you can begin calling, like to the mobile home parks and mobile home park owners. You can start calling on these people. You can start direct mailing them, because there's a lot of opportunities in there. It's something that you can do virtually. It's something where there is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of market demand from the residents, right? There's a lot of market demand from the residents, which is good. But not yet, and I say yet, a lot of market demand from investors. But when you start seeing Loopnet put out focused articles on, mobile home communities, affordable housing, you're very likely to see some of these commercial shopping centers and big box buildings that are going down. I guarantee you that there's going to be investors that are going to be converting these things into affordable housing, and taking on kind of the multifamily, room rental type of, investment play because of the demand in the market. So anyways, guys, that's those were the things on my mind, and they're heavy on my mind if you couldn't tell. We are pushing hardcore into this. Yes, sir.
So you probably buying these cash, but if you don't get all this cash, how could you finance one of these things? How does it work for somebody like that?
Well, we buy all of them with cash, just not our own cash. So we're using private lender capital to close these deals.
Okay.
So that's the other. Well, okay. So I kind of take that back. So we've closed on 3 so far. We're under contract on number 4. The first 2 we used private lender capital to close them, and that's the other good thing about the smaller sites, like the financing. It's easier and it's harder. What I mean by that, I mean a lot of these deals that are in any deal, like a mobile home park, that you're going to have a very hard time getting financing for these things from like an institutional lender or bank lender. The lenders that I've talked to, because we've been talking to them about refinancing now, and they really want the loan to be over $1 million per park or per property. They could do multiple parks theoretically in one loan, but they really don't want to do it. So the opportunity, Jason, is to get these deals under contract. Say it's a park that you're buying for, $100,000 to, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. We can raise that capital. You guys all have that ability to raise that amount of money with private money, but a lot of real estate investors, they don't have that skill set. They've never been through the training. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the support to pull that off. So we're doing that. And then the other thing that we did on our last park, and this is another opportunity with mom and pops, is seller financing. So the seller of our most recent park gave us financing, $250,000 of a lien he carried back, first lien, 5% interest. 5% interest. So he basically owner financed it to us. Now we've raised $250,000 additionally for partially to come to closing for about $100,000, $150,000 we brought to closing. Yeah, 150. Okay, we raised 250. We brought 150,000 to closing. Right, there's money to him, and then we had an additional $100,000 left over of that 250 that we raised to do our road development, signage, all the work that we're doing now. And now we're beginning to bring homes in. Like we bought 2 homes in the last week or so. We placed 1 last week. We're having another home set this week. So I've raised another 150,000 that I haven't officially raised yet, but it's kind of in the works of the paperwork. So those are the 2 main ways you would do it, Jason, is through private money and / or partnership with somebody, like a private money partner, and or seller financing. So that is there's a lot of seller financing that goes on in this space. So that's another good thing about it, because some of these sellers, like I said, beggars can't be choosers, and a lot of them don't have the like the demand from buyers. So I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy mobile home parks. I'm just telling you, keep your eye open for affordable housing opportunities, because it's a problem. All right, guys, you have any questions for me? Anything I can help with?
Nothing small.
All right, well, go find some deals. Go find, block out 30 minutes, an hour of time. Go, Google, Lake Charles, mobile home parks, Louisiana mobile home parks, and just start making calls. Like, hey, you guys doing okay? The storm hit you. Like, I'm very sorry to see what has, happened in your area. I'm making a call. One of my business partners, they buy mobile home parks. And so, they're just looking to see if there's some parks out there that are, looking for some help in the situation, maybe just want to kind of, not deal with it anymore, which we totally understand. It can be overwhelming. If you're in that position or know any other park owners, a lot of these park owners know each other locally, right? So just, here's my information. If you have any desire to have a conversation, I can set up an appointment, with my partner, and you guys can have a talk and see what that looks like. And then just work on getting appointments, schedule a three-way call. I'll get on the call and close the deal, if there's an opportunity there. Easy peasy. All right, guys, I'm going to log off, but I just did a quick Google search. I just did a quick Google search, like Google Maps. Look at all these mobile home parks in Lake Charles. Guys, this is right off of I-10. This is, I don't know if we call it a major market, but it's a pretty good sized market. It's Lake Charles is not going to go anywhere. Okay, Lake Charles is not going anywhere. Hey, look, Brian, Country Oaks. One of ours called Country Oaks. Trademark infringement. But anyways, so there's not, this town is not going anywhere. History tells us that, 3 years, the real estate will be just fine. This is right off a major freeway. Think about all the devastation that's been there. Think about how much construction is going to be needed there for years to come. Think about how many people need affordable housing. Think about how many people are out of a house now. And if you get a mobile home park, we could just put mobile homes on it. And the more and more I'm talking about this, the more I'm getting excited and kicking myself. Why haven't I made these phone calls or delegated to one of my team members? So I'm going to give you guys first opportunity, start making these calls. Lucy, are you going to make these calls? Is Lucy there? Patrick, are you going to make these calls?
I'll make some calls.
Make them.
Gotcha.
All
Yeah,
right,
I will.
hey, what's up, guys? Brant Phillips here. I hope you enjoyed that video. And what you were watching was basically just a snippet of a weekly mastermind I do with a small group of real estate investors. So if you're interested in learning more about that mastermind and the coaching program that I offer on a small limited basis, then feel free to reach out. Be glad to share some information with you about that. If you're just interested about learning more about mobile home park investing, or maybe, you're in an area where you're around mobile home parks and you see distressed parks and properties, then, hey, I'd love to work with you. We are actively buying parks. We just went under contract on our 4th property. We've got an offer out that looks like it's going to be accepted on a 5th property. So we are raising a lot of money to go and acquire these properties. So if you see some deals you'd like to pursue, getting those under contract, basically wholesaling and flipping them to us, we'd love to work with you. If you just want to be a bird dog and send us some contact information of owners, park information with phone numbers and things like that, we'd love to take those leads, and I can feed those to my acquisitions team and absolutely pay you a handsome bird dog fee. So either way, if you'd like to learn more about coaching, kind of working more with us with myself on a one-on-one basis, please reach out. If you got some deals, do the same. Just private message me. Put a comment in here. One of my assistants checks this on a daily basis. So let's connect. Let's do some business. Y'all take care. Hope you enjoy the show. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you like it. It means the world to me. Y'all take care.